Okay, we're recording.
Great. Good evening. Welcome to Upstairs Art Space Annual Meeting for 2021. I'm John Walters, Board President, and I'd like to welcome our board members and guests. We're a little bit overdue for our annual meeting with all that's been going on this past year, with all the COVID challenges, but we did make it through last year with a lot of care and COVID precautions, so things are looking better. We had a great meeting, or a great opening of our last exhibit. May 15th, had a good crowd, so things are looking up. So welcome. Tonight we're going to be reviewing some things that happened this past year and then announcing some events and activities coming up for the upcoming year. And at the end of the meeting, we'll be announcing some new leadership changes for the upstairs. So I'd like to first recognize our outgoing board members. Leaving the board over this past year were Hans Picard, Mark Holland, Haig Williams, and Alexia Boyd. Haig is still involved with us. He has left the board, but is now a member of the exhibits committee. So he will still be active, and we're glad to have him remain and help us. I want to give a special thank you to Alexia Boyd. Alexia was a long-term board member and exhibits committee member and chairman for a number of years, so she'll certainly be missed. Current board members who are remaining include Patty Trobaugh. Patty is not with us tonight. John James. John, if you want to raise your hand. And Kathy Stoney in the upper right corner. John actually joined the board several months ago. John and his partner moved to Tryon a few years ago. John has a background in real estate development and finance, so his skills will certainly be helpful to us. Other new board members include Jessica Scott Felder. Jessica's in the lower left. She is an artist and teaches at Wofford College in Spartanburg. You may remember Jessica from the last drawing marathon. She did those huge floor to ceiling, seems like they were 10-foot long paintings downstairs. So we're glad to have Jessica, glad to have you on board. Ian Griggs. Ian is a real estate development consultant currently living in Miami. He has family here and will be moving to Tryon, hopefully later in the year. He has a project downtown he's involved in, so as soon as that's complete, he'll be living here permanently. So we welcome Ian. Suzanne Camerata also joins the board. Suzanne is the owner of the gallery at Flat Rock, so her experience and skills will certainly be a bonus to the board. So each of these individuals are already active and taking part, so we're glad to have all of you. So welcome to Upstairs. I'd also like to recognize our volunteers. Olivia Merrill is the face of Upstairs on the weekends. If you've been in on Saturdays, you've certainly seen Olivia sitting at the front desk. Olivia is a student at Converse College and does a great job. Max Smith is a student at Landrum High School and will be attending Converse this fall. Mac helps out with a number of things, filling in at the front desk when needed, and just a variety of odd jobs that are needed throughout the year. Also, I'd like to recognize Marie King. Marie is a long-time volunteer and still helps us out when we ask her. So special thank you to Marie. Also, I'd like to mention Scott Cunningham. Scott's one of those that not many people see or even maybe know of. Scott comes in between exhibits and helps with the installation, hanging the artwork, adjusting lights, patching walls, putting up lettering, all the little things that make the exhibits come together. So he's one of those kind of unsung heroes that we're glad to have Scott helping. Also, we could not have the great exhibits without our exhibits committee. Some of those members have been involved in a number of years. Nancy Holmes, who you see here, has been a long time committee member of the exhibits committee. Joining her currently are Arden Cohn, David Zacharias. David's been on that committee for quite a while, and Haig Williams, who has recently joined. Also, Lisa Shimko, an artist that recently exhibited at Upstairs, has joined that committee. So we've got a good, strong exhibits committee to continue doing the great work that they've been doing. Last but certainly not least, our gallery manager, Mary Beth Noble. Mary Beth has just completed her first year, I guess a little more than 1 year here, but it's just been great. We cannot make it without her. If I went through and described everything she's done in the last year, we'd be here for hours. So just suffice it to say, she has done a great job and has gone beyond the call of duty anytime we've asked her to do anything. So thank you, Mary Beth. I mentioned volunteers. We could use more volunteers. If anyone watching this would like to do so, please contact the gallery. When Mary Beth has a volunteer, she's able to go back in her office and do other things than man the front desk, which is press releases, PR, grant writing, research, fundraising, all sorts of activities. So it gives her a little bit of private time to do things other than just greet and talk to our guests. So even a few hours a week would be helpful. So please, if you have an interest in doing that, please contact the gallery. Also, I'd like to acknowledge special acknowledgement to the Polk County Community Foundation. We have been fortunate to have their support over a number of years with grant funds each year to help with our operating expenses. This was especially helpful this past year with all the COVID issues, fewer people coming into the gallery. So they kind of pitched in and helped us out there, which was quite a big help. They also assisted with two other things this year. We had a leaky roof for many years. The foundation pitched in along with other donors to replace our roof, which let us all sleep a little bit better at night. And also pitched in again with donor support and the foundation and paid off the balance of our mortgage, which is a huge benefit, as you can imagine. This completes the Burn the Mortgage campaign that started a number of years ago and got close to paying it off, but didn't quite make it. So that support helped us kind of cross the finish line and get that behind us. And that's been a great thing. So thank you to all of our donors that assisted, and especially Elizabeth Nager and Noah Wood at the foundation for their support. So I'm going to, we've got several speakers who will highlight things that have been done this past year and coming up. And Mary Beth will start highlighting some of the gallery accomplishments and activities for the past year.
Thank you, John. I have a fan going on in the background, so hopefully everyone can hear me okay. If you can't, let me know.
You're fine.
Okay. Well, some of the accomplishments for the gallery in 2020 is, of course, we got a new gallery manager. I think that was even, myself being a volunteer beforehand and an artist here, I know that was a great step. I'm, of course, delighted to be here, and it's been a great match. And I think that we're rolling along really well. We also revised our website. Haig Williams, board member at the time, took that on as a project. He'll talk a little bit more about that. And we also, through the revision of our website, gave people an avenue to donate more easily, and that, using online methods, which is really kind of getting us up to speed with technology. We had to tackle COVID, and I believe we were closed for 6 weeks. And during that time, we used that time to produce our fundraising letters, which is a big job. And we did that in-house to save money. And so that was actually not a completely down time, and it sort of worked to our benefit. After we were allowed to open again, we opened with safety measures in place. And I think we did a really good job. We worked with other arts organizations in the Tryon area to kind of keep in line with what they were doing. So everyone was sort of had an equal equal approach to the public, and we constantly tuned into each other to see what the next steps were. We also were fortunate to receive a PPP loan, which was a COVID relief from the government. And we also received a relief grant from the North Carolina Arts, and that was administered by the Fine Arts Center in Tryon. We also have worked to now be a nonprofit space in this actual building. We're working to have that happen in perpetuity with so that we really will belong to the public for years to come. And that's a really important thing, that we're not going away. We're not becoming a private organization. We're keeping the nonprofit status and just growing in strength. We also became part of the Blue Ridge Craft Heritage Trail, which was not a thing that we joined, but a thing that we were selected to do. And we had to pass a series of tests to be included on that. And so Tryon now is on their trail. People in North Carolina get that information and come visit us, the Nina Simone sculpture and some other things in town. So we're part of that, proud to be part of that. And then the other thing we've done is worked on developing our board and our committees. That's still an ongoing project. Also, as John mentioned, volunteers are something I'm working on too. And we want to, remind people that the board is a volunteer position as well. We are very appreciative of the people who help us, and we are always looking for new people to help in different ways. And so it makes light work. Many hands make light work, of course. And I think those are some of the nice accomplishments that we've done, and we are looking good in 2021. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary Beth.
John's now going to introduce officers.
Well, we're going to do that a little bit later.
Sorry about that.
Well, no, I'm
sorry. I missed the. I see it here next. The next person I should introduce, John James. John James. Yes, I'm sorry. You're up next, John, as a treasurer's report.
Okay, thank you. I'm John James. I joined the board in September and took over from Patty Troba, the treasurer's responsibilities, in January. And just a real quick synopsis of the last year. I just wanted to start off our gallery mission. We put this on our tax return, is to develop and conduct activities that will enhance and foster knowledge of and appreciation for the creative process of contemporary art. To that end, the gallery hosts about 7 exhibits a year, each of which approximately break even. These are not really money-making endeavors. They're really about sharing art with the community. All in all, on those 7 exhibits, we bring about net income to the gallery of $10,000. That's after we pay commissions of about 40% to our artists. Those vary a little bit. The gallery's operating costs, generally speaking, are about $4,000 a month. That includes utilities, facility upkeep, maintenance, all admin expenses, insurance, and then the gallery management. They are generally obviously funded through fundraising and grants, since our art doesn't necessarily throw money towards those overhead expenses. So therefore, we pretty much depend upon the generosity of the funds, again, from PCCF, as John mentioned, operationally and otherwise, but also from members and sponsors. And without having those contributions, we don't quite make it through the year. In 2020, in addition to donations and grants, we got about $18,000 specifically from individuals and members, which I think is a tremendous amount of money from the community. And hopefully we will continue to do that and increase it going forward. We have filed our tax return with the IRS already. And that is available if anyone wants to take a look at it, or it's available on the IRS if anyone wants to go to their site once they've processed it. And these are just general things, obviously, but if anyone wants to get into more details or know a little bit more about how the gallery operates, please contact either Mary Beth or I, and we'll, talk with you or provide any information that you feel would be helpful. That's what I have to share for now. If anyone has any questions, just let us know. Thanks.
I have a question. I know
Okay.
Again, but are you going to make a handout available for any? Are you going to have an annual report available for people to pick up?
I think Mary Beth probably can
Yes, we
answer
will
that.
have that available on file, and we can make a copy for anyone who requests it. I'll have it in a notebook up here. So I'd be happy to give that to anyone who needs it.
Good question, Nancy. Thanks. Nancy is going to, Nancy Holmes, who's the exhibits committee member, will give us a report on the exhibits committee and talk about things to come. Nancy?
Actually, I was told to talk about things that have passed.
Okay, that's good too.
I was told to concentrate on the year 2020 because
That's fine.
Yeah, so I know most of you. I am Nancy Holmes, currently the chair of the exhibits committee, which I've been the chair of off and on for more than 25 years. John basically has already introduced the hardworking members of the committee. And I do, however, want to express appreciation to 3 members of the committee who have recently retired from it, alas. And that one, of course, is Alexia Timberlake Boyd, Linda Hudgens, and Janet Orselli. They all 3 made, terrific contributions to the exhibits committee. And I was also going to acknowledge our talented and dedicated preparator, Scott Cunningham, who, as everybody who is familiar with our activities at the F-Series, he works for us tirelessly installing our exhibit. So yes, 2020 was extremely challenging, and we were closed. I always tell people we were closed 2 months. It probably was just 6 weeks. And I'm going to have to correct John James, who said we put on 7 exhibits a year. We put on 14 exhibits last year. I think most of you realize that we have 3 separate exhibition spaces. We have our small works gallery. We have a larger gallery on the Trade Street level, and our largest gallery is on the lower level. So that does enable us to put on 3 shows running concurrently. We don't always do that. Sometimes we just take up 2 of the spaces. We just have 2 shows occupying the 3 spaces, and then sometimes we put on what I like to call a blockbuster show, which fills the entire gallery, as we did at the end of last year with our financially successful craft show. So I did want to mention some showstoppers last year. We had exhibits that featured, and they were well-attended exhibits, even with COVID. I mean, we were only able to allow 6 people on each floor at the beginning. But anyway, they were well-attended, all things considered. So some of these great shows last year featured drawings. They featured prints. We had a show entirely about still life and wood carving. And we did put on 2 major exhibits. One was about COVID and racial injustice. And then the other major, really huge exhibit was our show at the end of the year, which was called Handmade. And it was wonderful, outstanding, very high quality crafts from all over mostly Western North Carolina, as I recall. So now we're well into 2021, and I do hope all of you, if you haven't seen these 3 shows already, they have 3 exhibits that opened 2 weeks ago, and so they are up for another month. One is a gorgeous landscape show Two of the artists are from Polk County, Dale McIntyre and Keith Spencer. There is another show, is a women's show with new work by Connie Bostic and Margaret Curtis. Margaret lives in Tryon, about 5 minutes from the gallery, and is a really, truly rising star in the art scene. And the third exhibit is a group of stunning photographs of farm workers, photographed by Antonio Modesto Milian, who is a photographic journalist from Spartanburg. And of course we have more shows coming up this year, but I do hope you will all be regular visitors to see every one of our groupings of shows. And I will conclude by saying, I think the exhibit committee's overall goal is to show the finest art of the Carolinas and even beyond on occasion, both emerging artists and well-established artists, and to do our best to draw in visitors so that they will gain a greater understanding and appreciation of the art of our region and of our times.
Thank you, Nancy.
For any questions.
Okay, we're going to turn back over to Mary Beth. She's going to talk about membership and programs for the past year. So Mary Beth.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Nancy. Okay, so our membership, we have had lots of members in the past, but we, in 2019, there wasn't any real active membership drive per se. So we sort of started fresh. So I can say that our membership for 2020 increased over 500%, not from all time, but from the previous year. We have well over 50 members, and we hope to increase that by 100%, to get over the 100 member mark for 2021 when we do our membership drive in the fall. And we are looking for ways to give members perks, and one of the most interesting benefits that a member can have is the 10% discount on art purchases. And the other thing is that we had a membership drive during our art show where we had people contributing a call for entry. So that, we did like a discount. So that really helped our membership drive in the 2020 year. We made it so that if they joined in that period in the fall, their membership was good for all of 2021. So I believe that we'll reinstitute that again. And it's something we're looking into, even increasing in the future. Programs, we had a lot of limitations on our programs just because we can't have, we could not have people gathering. So that's about what programs are all about. So one thing that we are looking to do in the future is develop the program committee for 2021 with people that might have that skill set. But in the meantime, for 2020, what we did is we took our Walk and Talk, which is one of our most famous and well-attended programs, where artists speak about their work at the opening of a show, just before the opening of the show. And we did some artist interviews and put that online. And then those were also put on our website and on a YouTube channel. So we now have an Upstairs Art Space YouTube channel, and maybe Haig will talk a little more about that. We also we had started the Kits for Kids program, which is a free kits, art supplies to young people who may have, difficulties or need some support in the arts. And it also gave the parents there was a lesson in the kit for a parent to help coach the child through some kind of art project. And we tried to get professional art supplies. That was supported very well we did not use our money from the gallery for that. We used it purely people who supported it. separately, and a lot of you in this room tonight did support it, and it's going really well. We gave away our last kit yesterday. So we hope to increase that and maybe get more funding for that. So it was a way that took the place of our field trip visits, where we had students come into the space for field trips during the school year. We hope to have something going on in the future for the Tryon Art Film Festival, to have a screening here for 2021 and develop some of the more in-person programs. With that, I think I will introduce Haig Williams, who will talk a little bit about the public relations and the media aspect of our gallery. Go ahead, Haig.
Hey, everyone. So starting in January 2020, we transitioned our website to a more stable option using Squarespace. FireSpring was what we were on, and it was kind of cumbersome. It was expensive. It wasn't really flexible, for adding and changing things quickly. You couldn't change font. You couldn't change the color of the background without having to go through the company and have them do that. And I think I think the service is $135 a month, somewhere around that. And Squarespace has the flexibility to make changes, update information, refresh our look, change the whole look and feel of it if we want, create payment options for donors and members while only costing $30 a month for a subscription. So I think that's a positive change. Additionally, this past year, we started doing short videos of the artists. They're not like masterful productions, but they are, very informative. And I think we started doing those as community outreach because of the pandemic, because our traditional walk and talk at the beginning of each exhibition had stopped. And so this was a way to continue to educate the community. We now have an Upstairs Art Space YouTube channel. And you can, if you go to our website, right on the front of our website, there's a little button and you can click it and it will subscribe you. And I think it will even take you there. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do it, and encourage anybody out there to do it as well. I was privy to the analytics of the old website, which was on FireSpring platform. And now that we're on Squarespace, we've almost quadrupled our unique visitors to the site. So since January, we've had nearly 5,500 visitors to our site since switching to platforms. So that's pretty positive. And I'm happy to contribute my time, and I help manage the content, and I'm happy to continue to contribute my time and resources to keep these updated. Part of the Upstairs goals is to bring younger artists into the fold, and I think going to a not updated website is one big turnoff. So one of the first things that an artist does when interested in a gallery is they go to the website and they check it out. And if it's, not updated or the information is not there, it's a big turnoff. So we now have a good archive of shows and with images and videos from the past. And I think this will continue to be a draw. Instagram is currently functioning well for us. On average, we have about 50 likes a post. Not too bad, but improvement there can happen. Instagram, local radio, magazines, Constant Contact seem to be the best way to communicate to our community members and further outreach. We will continue to try and fix the Facebook problem, but I personally feel like Facebook's influence is waning. Somehow in the past, there were 2 Facebook accounts that were set up, so it's kind of like we're locked out. And I searched and spent several hours trying to figure out how to unlock it and get us back in, but it's just I haven't had much success. And calling Facebook, I'm not sure if that's an option. So so we'll keep working on it, we'll keep searching it, we'll keep trying to solve the problem. But in the meantime, I think Instagram is functioning really well for us and the other options. Also, I think it's essential to mention that the upstairs had a great article in the Asheville Made about the gallery. Mary Beth did a great job conveying our mission and the importance of the upstairs to the community of Tryon and beyond for artists and purveyors of contemporary art and craft. I also think it reminded some folks in Asheville that we're still here and thriving and bringing the upstairs to the attention of new people in the area. Last, we have also had several artists that have been featured in Bold Life and Asheville Made. John Walters, one of them. And I think that's always good press for us. And I'll end with a quote from Antonio Modesto Milian, currently showing in the Small Works Gallery. At the last opening, he said to me that he had mentioned to some folks at the Greenville Center for Creative Arts that he was showing his work at the upstairs art space. And he said that they said, wow, that's an awesome thing. That's a huge deal. Congratulations. So that's pretty exciting. So we're still, people are, down in Greenville and Asheville, I think, which is, we want everybody in Tryon to be engaged with the community, but I think we have to continue to reach out to those two centers, on the periphery to try to draw, artists and attention to our space, especially with young folks. So that's it.
Thank you, Hank. I know that's a lot of hard work and a lot of time to do all the things you just mentioned. So we really appreciate your efforts. It's been a big improvement. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mary Beth, I think you had a little more to say.
Yes, I'm realizing that the gallery manager report there's a lot of things already covered, so I won't repeat them, but there are two things that I haven't mentioned that I think are important. One of the things is that our fundraising letter went out in the spring of last year, and it did very well compared to the year previously. We'll be doing another fundraising letter. I call them annual appeals. That'll be coming for 2021. And the other thing was we launched a diversity initiative. That's something that I put into place after sort of seeing the climate and realizing that a lot of the grants that I was applying for on behalf of the gallery were asking questions about the makeup of our board, our exhibits, and our artists, and that we did not have that diverse of a situation here. Tryon itself is not that diverse of a town. So we really made a very focused effort to try to diversify not only our artists and our exhibits, but also our board and leadership here. So that's something that is happening, and we want to continue forward with that to not have just a one-sided voice here, but have a diverse voice. And the last thing I will say is that I'm very proud of what's happened at the gallery. The exhibits have been awesome, and I think that one of my goals that I mentioned in the article is that I want the public to know that this is a space for everybody, and all types of people can come in here and feel welcome and learn about art, and we're really at the community service in that way. So thanks so much, and I will give it back to John.
Thanks, Mary Beth. I mentioned earlier that there were some leadership changes starting today or tonight, but John James has already been mentioned, has taken over the role of treasurer from Patty. Patty did a great job for a number of years. So John is now serving as treasurer. Jessica Scott Felder will serve as secretary. Thank you, Jessica. She's volunteered to step right in and do that. I will be stepping down as president after 3 years. So it's been great, but it's time to pass it on. Kathy Stoney has agreed to be president. So Kathy has been a board member for a couple of years, was secretary this past year, did a great job, very thorough. So I know she'll do a great job and do great things. So I just want to thank everyone, board members, committee members, everyone who has helped me these past 3 years. It's been great experience. Especially thank our donors for their support and the foundation. Keeps money takes money to keep the doors open, and we continue to keep the doors open. So that's a good sign. So thanks to everyone. I also want to thank you for the nice gift. Mary Beth told me to open this, but I cheated and went ahead and opened it. So thank you for the nice note and the nice Mont Blanc notebook. So I will put that to good use. So thanks again. I'm going to pass it now to Kathy Stoney and let her continue. Kathy, thank you.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that. I'm really excited to be here tonight, and I've been involved with the Upstairs since Craig and Sheila founded the gallery with that simple mission of offering a free gallery space to the community so that they can experience all the different forms of contemporary art. You know, I'm honored to have this opportunity to serve as the president, and I do look forward to another excellent year, and I know we can get things accomplished. I'm also just so grateful that we have this diverse and talented group of board members who are committed to our commission, to our mission and our goals, and I'm really excited for our year ahead. And to that end, I would like to tell you a little bit about our goals for 2021 and 2022. We are going to update and revise our bylaws so that they function for our organization a little better. We're going to develop a 5-year strategic plan with goals so that we can follow those and feel good about it when we look back and see that over the course of these 5 years, we really have met all of the goals and brought the gallery forward in the direction we want it to go with the mission. We plan to increase the fundraising, work hard to do that by 20%, as well as increasing membership always, hopefully by 20%. Volunteers are very critical to the organization, and we'd like to increase those by 50% as well. We plan to sponsor a new version of what used to be called Art Trek. For those of you that don't know Art Trek is where the folks visit the art galleries of the artist. And what we're looking to do this year is to just showcase the area artists in our local counties, Polk County, Henderson County, Spartanburg 1, and maybe even reach all the way down to Greenville. That will depend on how well we're able to organize all of that. And we plan to bring the 100 x 100 art exhibition fundraiser back to the gallery. It's one of the biggest fundraisers that we do, and the community loves it. The artists enjoy it. It's a win-win exhibition. With restrictions lifted, as Mary Beth said, we're really looking forward to offering our artist walks and talks again, as well as receptions where we can actually host people and bring them into the gallery. We'll continue to participate in the Fourth Fridays. We'll make those connections with the Tryon Downtown Association so that we can coordinate our activities to match their themed Fridays. We plan to continue to bring the community these wonderful exhibits that fill up the gallery. Nancy said 21 exhibits. We think of that, or I guess we thought of that as 6 to 7 exhibits. So we'll say those large fill up the gallery, 6 to 7 exhibits for the community. And in closing, I would like to thank everyone for the hard work they've done, and go ahead and thank all of you who are going to continue to do the hard work that we have ahead. And just thank you all for being here tonight. And I look forward to connecting with all of you very soon and seeing you in the gallery. And I hope you have a great evening. Thanks.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. I'm going to finish our recording. We appreciate people's attendance. And I think there's a few people on the board who want to just stay on a few more minutes. We have 10 minutes before it's an hour, and maybe there's a couple questions, and we can do that outside of the recording. Once again, thank you. And for people who are viewing this after words, we invite you to contact us with any questions and continue to participate in the gallery so we can have a really strong 2021. Thank you so much.
Thank you.